Hi, it's me again. Welcome to Journals from the Edge. I know it's not Monday. I didn't drop a video the other day. I was in Special Olympics with my group that I work with, so we've had a very busy week. But I wanted to get on here and share something that's been weighing heavy on my heart this week. A few weeks ago, I was scrolling through Facebook and reading some reactions people had in the grief groups that I'm involved in, and I saw a post that it really hit me hard. It hit me just so hard I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was in a group about child loss, and a mom had posted these words. She said, "My son died yesterday. What am I supposed to learn from this?" Wow. I was so taken aback by her reasoning, by her immediate thought that her child died because of her. And it just hit me wrong. I have to admit it. I was angry at her for instantly assuming that her child died because, it was her fault. Or it was because of her. She didn't do something, or she, is supposed to, he died for her to learn something from her death. And I know, being a mom of a child who died, that we do place blame on ourselves. I did at first too, went through that whole thing of, if Matthew had not been coming to see me, he wouldn't have died. If I hadn't moved to the beach, he wouldn't be on his way down to see me during a holiday, and he wouldn't have died. So I do understand that. But at the same time, my first thought when he died was, what did I do what am I supposed to learn? I didn't think like that. And it's not wrong for her to think that way. We all think different things in grief. It just hit me wrong that was the first thing she thought of. I would just, it just hit me with, I guess, a feeling that I can't even describe, because I know where she's coming from. So any grief you feel isn't wrong. There's nothing wrong with how you feel. It's just the instant we lose a child, we tend to blame ourselves for it. So when my son died, he was killed instantly in a motorcycle accident. I wasn't there. I wasn't anywhere near there. I had nothing to do with it. But yet I blame myself, just because that's what us as moms do. We're supposed to be their saviors. We're supposed to be the ones that save them. But just, I think the way she formed the question, he just died. What am I supposed to learn from this? As if he died for her. And I just wanted her to know that it just, they didn't die for you. My son didn't die for me to learn anything. It's just, reality is that, kids die sometimes, and we don't know why. We can't explain it, and we may never know, but that's just what happens. So in the darkest recesses of our minds, we, I guess, feel like, since we don't know, we need to figure out if our child died to teach us something, but they didn't. It's such a painful thought for that poor mother to think that. It's just always a searching thought that we go through. We're trying to make sense of what happened to our child, but grief it's a bundle of emotions, and it wages war with our minds and our bodies all the time. It's a battle that we never, it never ends, because as long as your child is dead or your loved one's dead, you're going to feel grief. It's just the reality of it. The love never stops, whether they're here or not. It just doesn't stop. So if my child isn't coming back, if my mom isn't coming back, if my dad isn't coming back, then that grief isn't going anywhere. So for the mother who believes her child's death was somehow her fault, it's not wrong for her to believe that. Her feelings are her truth. And whatever she is feeling is her story, and her story is valid. It's new to her. It's a new thing. It's raw, and it's visceral, and it's emotion. Our child just died. However, when we're in the grips of grief, love twists into blame. Pain demands answers, even that they aren't fair or true. But in actuality, people die. Sometimes suddenly, sometimes cruelly. It isn't her fault her son died. It never was. But it's the brutal rhythm of life that none of us are immune to. And when our hearts are shattered, and it's easy to think we caused the storm, where in actuality, we're just standing in the rain, in the aftermath of the storm. So my second reaction to the mom was just a deep feeling of sorrow for her, not pity, just pure compassion. Because I don't believe our children die for us to learn a lesson or to learn something. Their death isn't some kind of cosmic lesson plan. It's not punishment, it's a tragedy. And therein lies the complicated part. And the aftermath, as we're struggling to try to make sense of it, the unimaginable, we do learn. We learn because we don't have any choice. Grief becomes a growth, painfully, slowly, deeply, through feeling everything fully, reaching out to other people who are in grief, reaching out for support, reaching for meaning. We do discover things we never knew about ourselves. We discover things about love. We discover things about life. We learn by surviving the pain, not because it was given to us for a lesson, but because it demands everything from us. And in that desperate search for answers, for comfort, for anything to hold on to, we grow and we do change. Maybe your child's death has caused you to slow down. Maybe it's woke you up to things you never thought of before. Maybe you begin to see life with new eyes. Maybe you found your voice, or maybe you stopped running from the truth of things and you finally turned around and met those truths head on. If any of these feel like a lesson to you, then let that lesson be a gift. Maybe a gift you didn't ask for, but one you carry with courage and strength. So in my sorrow of losing my son, my parents, my best friends, so many key people who were part of my everyday life, I did have to learn to live without them, but the lessons didn't come from their death. The lessons came from the sorrow of losing them. What I do know is that every single day brings change. Some days I still reach for the phone out of habit to call my mom because I'm so used to calling my mom every day. Some days I feel my son so close to me, it feels like he's right here in the room with me. And other days the silence feels unbearable. I can't stand it. So how do I go through life without picking up the phone to call him? Without hearing their voice or leaning on their love? I wish I had a clear answer for everybody, but I really don't. That's just a part no one prepares you for in grief. But over time, and for me, honestly, years, I've come to understand something that's helped me take small steps forward. Had to change the way I think about their deaths. I had to change my mind and what was going on in my mind. Not to erase the people I've lost, not to make peace with something that still doesn't make any sense and seems so unfair, but to make space for the idea that their lives still mean something in me. So I stopped asking, why did this happen to me? And started asking, how can I live in a way that honors the love that we shared? That's the question I started asking. I had to shift from grief being something that swallowed me to something I could hold and carry and even walk alongside. And it's still hard. It always will be. There's never going to be a day that it's not hard. But that change in thinking, that quiet inner decision to live even while grieving, it's made all the difference in me and who I am today. And if you're in that place too, just know you're not alone in the messiness of it. We don't get over grief, but we do learn to live with it. And, that's where the healing begins. But know this, your child did not die or need to die for you to learn anything. Their life had value, beauty, and meaning on its own, and their lives were important. The world is wildly unpredictable, and not everything happens for a reason. Some things just happen randomly. Stuff just happens. My son's death was random. Sometimes in the aftermath of loss, we see others create foundations, they write books, they start movements, all in honor of the people that they've lost. And those things can be beautiful, they can be healing, but they're not required. You don't have to do anything like that to honor the person that you've lost. You don't have to start a foundation. I didn't start one. You don't have to change the world to prove your love for them. Your love already changed their world when they were here. And you know what? That was enough. That was enough. If all you ever do is whisper their name in the quiet moments, if all you ever do is carry their memory in the softest spaces of your heart, that's a legacy too. Grief doesn't come with a to-do list. It doesn't, honor can be quiet, love can be simple, and there's no right way to remember someone. And it's not your job to carry the weight of something you couldn't control. So whether you've built something big or you're just surviving the day, both are acts of love and both are enough. Today, I'm releasing you from the weight of believing your child died to teach you something. You don't have to keep searching for a deeper meaning in your pain. You don't have to make sense of something that shattered your heart. Sometimes there is no lesson. Sometimes something terrible happens and it just is. And I want you to know that doesn't make your grief any less valid, and it doesn't make your love any less powerful. Your child didn't need to become a teacher of pain for their life to matter. You and they are already enough. You're already enough. They're already enough. And if you ever do miss them, love them, if all you ever do is miss them and love them, remember them, then that's more than enough. And if someday light finds its way back into your heart, it won't be because of the lessons you've learned. It'll be because you kept going. You kept loving. You kept breathing. So take the pressure off your shoulders. You don't have to explain this loss to anyone, not even to yourself. Just be here with your heart as it is. And I'm holding this space for you, always. This is Journals from the Edge, where pain meets the power of words. Thank you for listening and letting me walk beside you. We'll see you next time. Thanks.